Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea Winters and today I'll be talking to you guys about why you should adopt a dog from an animal shelter. Have you ever been to an animal shelter to look at all the different dogs that they had? I want you to think back on a time when you went and you saw all these cute faces with the pouty eyes looking at you in their cage or through the glass looking at you hoping that you will be the one to take them home. What did you think? Were you critical of how the dog looked? Did you think that maybe the dog shed too much so you didn't want to adopt it? Did you think that the dog was too old? Or maybe that, they didn't have the certain breed that you were looking for? More than likely, a few of those faces that you saw that day were not one of the lucky ones that got to go home. How does it feel knowing that there are millions of dogs put to sleep per year that couldn't do anything about it? Now think of how it feels to know that you can make a difference by adopting one of those innocent animals and saving their lives. By the time I finished with this speech, there have been 480 cats and dogs that have been put to sleep. This is about one animal per 8 seconds. All of the dogs that I've ever had have been rescue animals. So I've always believed in adopting from an animal shelter. But after doing my research, now I have even more reason to only want to adopt from an animal shelter. By the time I finish my speech, I hope you see where I'm coming from. The number of unfortunate dogs is at a very high risk. According to ASPCA.org, 5 to 7 million animals are contained per year at animal shelters. About 5,000 community animal shelters contain a large number of this, and they don't have the funds to do so. Out of the 5 to 7 million animals, 60% of dogs are euthanized. These animals deserve a second chance, but they have to have the right person willing to give them one. According to vetmed.mcdavis.edu, there's not enough room in all these animal shelters to contain the animals. And when there isn't enough room in the animal shelters, then that means that there are more animals left without a home. When there are more animals without homes, this means that there are more strays, which means there are animals that are going to starve, get injured, get killed, and possibly have puppies. And if they have puppies, then that means that there is an even larger number of animals that are left on the road. And a lot of pets that can't be taken in the animal shelters are at a high risk of being abused and neglected. All these dogs deserve a second chance, because the majority of these animals are in there, and it wasn't by their choice, and it wasn't because it was their fault. And these are the animals that sit in these cages, and they're waiting to be adopted, but a lot of them aren't the ones that get adopted. It is easy to save an animal's life and give it a better one, and the best way is to simply adopt. By adopting, the number of animals contained per year is decreased by at least one. According to humanesociety.org, when you save one animal's life, you also save another. Meaning, when you adopt, you obviously save that animal's life. But did you know at the same time you're saving another animal's life? What I'm saying is, you free up a cage that this animal once was in, which gives another animal the space to be able to be taken. Okay, I want you to close your eyes and imagine this. Imagine having an extremely hard day at work, and you come home and there's this excited, happy dog that's smiling, jumping up and down because he's so excited that his owner's here. When you see this excitement, any day that you're having gets turned into a good day. When you adopt, not only do you benefit the dog, but you also benefit yourself. You saved his life, obviously, but he, in return, relieving you from stress, and depending on your status, maybe saving you from developing depression, and also keeping you from becoming lonely. Not only does he help your mentality, but he also helps your physical health. By spending time with your new best friend, your blood pressure and cholesterol levels decrease. And when you care for your animal, meaning walking, grooming, petting, your activity level increases, which helps with stopping muscle loss. It gets your blood circulation going, and it helps strengthen your heart. One big thing about adopting from the Humane Society is you save money. The adoption fee is a lot cheaper than go into a pet store or a puppy mill. Also, these animals automatically come with being spayed and neutered, which means you don't have to pay extra to get the procedure done. Last but not least, a lot of the animal shelters contain pure breeds, which you get for hundreds of dollars less than what you would at a pet store. Majority of these animals come guaranteed healthy because when they are taken into the animal shelter, they have vets that check them to make sure that they're healthy enough to be adopted out. Not to mention, they get their immunizations and they get checkups. Most of these animals are wise and unique, meaning that they come from, a bad past, and these are the animals that have a lot of personality. And a lot of the people that work at humane societies, they get to know these animals so they can match you with the perfect animal that you're looking for. Most of these animals are not at the animal shelter because of a bad behavior problem. It's because they are victims of their owners, meaning that their owners have become unemployed, they moved, or they've had a divorce so they can't keep the animal anymore. And this can be a benefit to someone looking to adopt because these animals already become well-behaved and house-trained. When you adopt from an animal shelter, you help that local shelter and you help your community. The adoption fee gives the money to the animal shelter, which helps take care of the animals, provide them with medicine, and keep up with the animal shelter, which gives them more room to take in more animals. And by supporting your local shelter, you also support your community, because this gets the animals off the street. So go adopt. Go to the local shelter, choose an animal, and save its life. Become a volunteer. By becoming a volunteer, you get to work at adoption drives, which means you get to help put this animal in a good home. Not to mention, when you're a volunteer, you get to foster these animals, meaning you can take them home, help train them, and help work on their socialization skills if they're having trouble. And this will get these dogs adopted much faster. So go do an animal, your shelter, your community, and yourself a favor, and go save an animal's life.